Hi, Module 6 is talking about Chapter 4 of your textbook, which is internal forces. So we are talking about not only internal forces, but also internal forces assessment. Now, if you remember external forces, or I say external environment, the external environment are actually given environment, competitive environment. So most likely you have to deal with it. Okay? Of course, you can influence external environment through innovations. But bottom line is that the environment is something you just can't control. That is why if you know external environment, you can actually find opportunity and threat. At the same time, you can actually create your own opportunity if you are very innovative and also if you are lucky. Now, Chapter 4 in the Module 6 is talking about internal forces, which is a company can control. So if you think about what a company can control as an internal environment, then you can find answers. For example, management style, management systems, human resource management, marketing, product and service, customer relationship, supplier relationship, supplier network, logistics, production systems, research and development. Okay, a lot of so-called operational elements are actually internal environment. So if you know internal environment, that means you know yourself. So you understand who you are. Then you understand your strength and weakness. Okay? So it is important, to know yourself correctly. So if you remember external environment will give you the sense of opportunity and threat. The internal environment will give you strengths and weakness. Therefore, if you know the both internal and external environment, and if you can correctly assess these two environments, then you can actually do SWOT analysis. So previous module, you're actually working on the external environment. Now this time you're going to work on internal environment. That means you actually create the fundamental, get the fundamental information to develop your SWOT analysis for the last module. So make sure you have accurate, correct internal environment assessment here for your future assignment. Okay. Now, the textbook talking about, if you talk about internal environment, we are actually talking about competitive advantage, because internal environment is talking about controllable element of our strengths and weakness. That means strategies will influence strengths and also weakness. Not only that, strategy will create strengths. Also strategic failure will create weakness. And also, aggressive strategy may transform weakness to the strengths. Okay? Again, you really have to think which direction you want to take. Okay? You want to maintain strengths, or make strengths like stronger, or make weakness like neutral, or you want to transform weakness to strengths. You really have to think. Then you actually think what kind of strategies you can use for the particular direction. Now, competitive advantage is something you are doing better than anybody else. The competitive advantage is not absolute advantage. Okay, so competitive advantage will change. But competitive advantage is stronger than comparative advantage. The comparative advantage, you relatively doing better. But competitive advantage is you are the company doing better than anybody else. But again, another company can improve their let's say organizational system structures. They introduce new strategies. They can catch up with your competitive advantage, or sometimes they exceed the competitive advantage. That's how company compete, basically. Okay, so your textbook said competitive advantage is very rare, very difficult to copy, and most likely there is no substitution. But my point is that strategy, if you are an effective strategist, you always try to catch up with another company's competitive advantage. Because even it's difficult to copy, but there is a possibility to copy and actually exceed another company's competitive advantage. Okay. Now, if I talk about the competitive advantage, I want to talk about the core competence. Core competence is fundamental strength, sometimes definite advantage. For example, let's talk about the Sony Corporation. Sony Corporation is famous for quality. It's a good product, but the quality level is competitive advantage. If the Sony is producing the highest quality, then that is competitive advantage. But General Electric can improve their production system, can improve the quality control, and they can catch up with Sony and exceed the Sony. But what is the core competence of the Sony Corporation? If you look at the history of the Sony, what they're doing, I think they make everything smaller. We call it downsizing. So their core competence is re-engineering, redesign, using new materials, new parts to make smaller. And even the small product can have a high performance or high quality. See, core competence of Sony is downsizing, make everything small. But competitive advantage is quality and performance. So I want you to really understand the difference between competitive advantage and core competence. And accumulation of strengths will create core competence with experience. But the simple strengths and weakness will definitely influence the competitive advantage. Okay? Now, let's talk about basic strengths and weakness in internal assessment, internal factors. Your textbook is talking about human resource management, also financial management, marketing. But before you talk about the element, you have to think about the resources. See, if you don't understand resources available for the corporation, you just can't think correctly when you do the internal assessment, correct? So what are resources? Let's go back to the traditional way of thinking. The traditional way of thinking of resources, and it is correct way, is first of all human resource. People is important. Money is important. Product and service. And these days, we can add one more, information, including information technology. You have to check resources. Do you have enough people? Do you have a good people? Do you have a competent people? Or do you have money? Do you have a financial power to survive in the market? You have a financial power to invest in the research and development? You have a financial power to take over another company? How much you have money, including collateral? How much you have asset? How much you have a financial power, financial strength? Not only how much you have money, but also cash inflow, cash outflow, which is cash flow management. How much you have liquidity? How fast you can convert your asset to the cash? Important, isn't it? Okay. Also product and service. What kind of product you have? What kind of product position? How much market share you have? What is your brand position? What will be a price zone? These are resources basically. Okay? Information, what kind of information you have? Intellectual property. What kind of information you accumulate? Your experience. What kind of information customer have about you? Information about your product. Image of your company is also information. What kind of information technology you have? Do you have an e-commerce? Your distribution network is connected through the internet information technology. These are resources. These are like your muscle. Bone, muscle. Okay? So you have a brain, it's you. Brain is you. And heart is people with strategies. The muscle and bone. These are actually, the resources. Then once you understand resources, then you actually talk about internal assessment. What would a factor? Management, human resource management, customer relationship management. This management, if you go a little bit wider scope, we call it corporate governance. The corporate governance or management system. This is the internal element, right? Because you can design, you can control, you can improve. The second one is marketing. Your textbook talking about the marketing mix, 4 P's. Product, price, promotion. Not only effective marketing, but also do you have a good product? Do you have a good place, which is good market, good distribution channel? Price, what kind of pricing? Is your pricing making profit? Is your pricing is collecting the initial investment? These are everything is internal thing. You can decide the price, correct? So it's going to be internal environment. You can control it. Of course, you have to deal with external environment, but most likely pricing strategy can be more creative. Strategies. Now again, your textbook uses 4 P's for the strategies. Do you have effective strategy for product policy and product strategy? Do you have customer relationship management, which is market management? Do you have a distribution channel management? Do you have a promotion strategy? Do you have a media mix? Do you have a promotional mix? Are you using social media? Pricing. What kind of pricing? Your pricing is accepted by market? Or is your pricing is unique enough? Is your pricing, maintain your market position and brand reputation? These are the factors you have to think. Okay? Financial and accounting is definitely, investment, financing. You have to think about the returns. You have to think about the dividends. You have to think about, cash flow management. These are really important. Then next module, which is module 7, we're going to go for ratio analysis. Okay, ratio analysis is talking about how fast we can convert our asset to cash. That is solvency or liquidity or turnover, which is activity. How fast you can sell the product. How fast you can make inventory room empty. So these are financial ratios. That is actual power, financial power, conditions of your situations. Okay. I will talk about financial ratio analysis more detail for the next module. Okay. Then production management, of course. Now, when you talk about production management, there are 2 bottom lines: efficiency, cost management, effectiveness, productivity management. Think about that. Everything about production management should be categorized based on these 2 dimensions: efficiency, cost management, effectiveness, productivity management. Think about that. Research and development is definitely production management. And last one is management information system. A lot of management information system. Of course, email is one of them. intranet, internet, yeah. A Kanban system, Toyota is definitely information systems. MIS is managing information system, SIS strategic information systems, database management, you name it. Think about it. Okay. Now the last one for this chapter is internal factor evaluation, IFE. The IFE is very similar to the EFE, basically the same. You actually pick strengths and weakness, and you have a weight, importance, rate, how good you are, that you actually make. Now, if you have EFE, external factor evaluation, and IFE, internal factor evaluation, EFE, IFE are basic information to develop SWOT analysis. Okay. Now, I just went over the basic ideas about, internal assessment and internal environment here. If you have a question, please send me an email. And good luck on your assignment. Thank you.